Okay, everybody, it is me, Gregory Manarino, and you know what today is? I'm going to tell you what today is. It's a beautiful day. Every day is lovely, honestly, regardless of the freak show, and I have a lot to go over with you. Got this little piece of paper filled up here with things I want to talk about. Can you see that? Look at my lovely handwriting. Very important stuff, and it's just out there. Some of it's going to probably crack you up, and I hope I don't have a freaking meltdown. So here's the story here. Let me just back up. So yesterday I got a surprise visit from Dan. Dan of I Allegedly. Most of you know who this guy is. So Dan comes here with his best friend David. Two of the greatest guys. Honestly, we sat down here in my yard. We had a really nice conversation. But not just that. Not just that. He brings me something. Him and Dan and David. Look at that. An Emanon hat. Now, I know what you're saying. I want one. You want one of these? Okay. Go check out Dan, I Allegedly. I will place a link in the description of this video. They're going to be, I believe, auctioning off two of these hats from the original batch, and the proceeds will go to a charity. And I love that. That's what Emanon is all about. You know, loving each other, caring about each other, being charitable, doing one good deed a day, or even just one good deed a week. You know, everybody can contribute here for nothing. You know, you want to make a difference in the world? Here it is, Emanon. How do you join Emanon? Just say, I am committed to doing good. That's all. Just say it out loud right now. I am committed to doing good. And you're in. That's it. And you are an Emanon, like me, like Dan, like David as well. Anyway, a couple of other shout outs before I move forward. The guy that made these hats here, from Fully Promoted out here in Las Vegas, a DJ. I can't pronounce your last name. I am very sorry. But if you don't win the auction here, I know Dan's going to auction two of these hats off for charity on his channel. Again, link in the description of this video. I'm going to put this guy's information in the description of this video. So just call up DJ. Call him. Tell him to ship you an Emanon hat. Alright? Get yourself a freaking Emanon hat, people. Anyway, this is great stuff. It really, really is. And I hope you know, commit yourself to doing good. And of course, there's going to be the usual detractors. Oh, there's something behind this. If you're doing good, you really can't be doing good because you're doing bad. You know, people are twisted, but that's okay. I think most of you get it here. All right, look, with that said, people, let's talk. So, here, let's cover the economic news. And just listen to this. I want you to hear about this. You're going to love this. So, we found out business spending falls. Business shipping falls. Okay. Manufacturing and factory activity also falling here. Lovely. But they want you to believe that gross domestic product is higher. Oh, we're doing great. Actually, if you were to strip out transportation, for example, those of us who don't buy jet planes, seriously, this number has cratered. Cratered. I don't think many of you out here are buying jets. I could be wrong, okay, but I don't think so. Anyway, with that said, you know, it's all a fallacy. You know, okay, oh, it's great, but they can't tell you the reality of the situation. What else is going on? Consumer spending falling. Bank deposits are evaporating. There's an issue we got to talk about here at one particular point. But again, they want you to believe GDP is up. You can't make this stuff up at all. Unemployment, the numbers for last week did come out up a little better than expected. And the other thing you're hearing now, and this is this morning, that inflation is topping. Now, let me back up a moment here. We've heard this before. Not only have you and I heard, well, inflation is temporary, inflation is transitory, it's topping out. This has got to be like the 5th time that the mainstream propaganda is pushing inflation is topping. We are not topping in any way, shape, or form. But again, you and I realize, we talked about this recently, they're going to start pushing this narrative. Inflation is topping. Inflation is slowing down. Now here's something else that's kind of interesting here that I think that you would appreciate. So the European Central Bank, what do we know the European Central Bank, along with the Federal Reserve, has been doing? They've been raising rates, religiously now for many, many months with no effect at all. As inflation has been getting progressively worse. Duh! Can I get a duh hat too? Anyway, so the European Central Bank is going to continue to do what they've been doing, that is in raising rates here, and expecting a different outcome. Now let's see, the big secret behind all this that you're well aware of is this is not a rate issue, okay? But you're being sold a lie on an epic scale, being pushed by, of course, the propaganda ministry at the direction of central banks who run the entire show. Oh yeah, we're going to raise rates. Central banks raising rates. It's going to finally make a difference. No, it's not. Inflation is not topping. It's not going to stop. And on top of that, you're going to be sold the lie that, okay, central banks are going to raise rates, which, as you are well aware of, it's a way to destroy demand. These central banks figure if they crush the economy, destroy demand, and take the people down with it, somehow, by some miracle, this is going to slow inflation. No. It's not meant to do that. It's meant to crush demand. How can they do it? How can central banks actually do it? The silence is deafening, people. You know what I'm going to tell you here? If central banks just said, hey, major institutions, you big banks out here, raise your capital requirements, contract the money supply, overnight, we would see inflation drop. You won't hear about that. Oh, no. You see, that's the big secret. Because if in fact central banks contracted the money supply, which would obviously slow inflation dramatically, depending on how high they raise the capital requirements being held by the banks here, it would stop them or prevent them from inflating the money supply. And nothing is going to get in the way of central banks continuing to inflate the money supply. Nothing. Okay? They don't care who they have to destroy, how many people they have to destroy. It would maybe be a good thing for the global economy, but no, you see, they're determined to crush it. Central banks are on a mission here, okay, to fulfill an end game. You all know this. I've covered it a million times. You will never, ever see a central banker wear an M&On hat, okay? These people are out to destroy you. Do good. Their mission is very wicked, and I think we are all well aware of that, what they're doing. And you will not hear anything about this whatsoever. All you're going to hear from the mainstream propaganda is how central banks are really trying to get behind this. They really have your best interest in mind. Believe me, because we're telling you. It's unbelievable. They dictate your freaking lives. Not you, me, because we don't pay any attention to that dog shit. But for the most part, listen to Jim Cramer, because he's going to tell you the truth. Listen to Jerome Powell and President Imbecile. They're on your side too. How about no? It's just incredible. Anyway, so on the back of all this, I mean, it's just utterly amazing. So business spending falling, business shipping falling, manufacturing, factory activity falling off of a cliff, consumer spending falling, bank deposits dropping, but GDP's higher. I don't think so. Durable goods orders, that's part of the whole scheme here, like I said. Durable goods orders higher, but if you strip out transportation and jet planes, which you and I aren't buying any right now, I don't think, durable goods orders actually fell off of a cliff. But again, no one's going to tell you that. And this issue with the ECB, all right, could you imagine, when are people going to wake up? My European friends, I know you're much more awake than the people here in the United States who are media influenced, mainstream media influenced, brain dead subjects who have become zombified. Okay, but not so much my European friends, and I hear from you all the time. When are people going to wake up? When are people going to say, seriously, here in the United States and in Europe, hey, you know what? Central banks, you've been raising rates now for months. What's been happening? Oh, clearly we're not topping. Clearly this wasn't transitory or temporary. So why, you imbecile central bankers, why do you continue to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different outcome? Okay, that may be, it isn't actually, but it could be somehow, molded into the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. You understand? On the back of all this, people, stock futures, the last time I looked at them, was higher across the board. You and I are going to keep our eyes on the debt market here. I am not convinced at all that, despite the fact that we've seen a major reversal here with regard to action in the debt market, we had a global sell-off of global debt. Then Nick the Pig comes out and Mary Daly comes out and all this reversed. Really, is that it? Is that all it took, in your opinion, to stop the global sell-off? I think this is the Band-Aid effect. I really do. Unless real action is taken by central banks to stop the bleeding here, this is going to accelerate. It's going to anyway. You all know that. This is, look, a means to an end, however you want to put it here. The fact of the matter is this global debt market is going to implode. It's going to implode by design here. It's being hyperinflated by design by runaway central banks. And they're going to collapse the entire global economy and lock up the financial system in aggregate here. Forget all over the world. It's going to stop everything, okay? So they can issue in a new system. But you see, you're not supposed to know that either. If you can't see what's going on right now, if you've been with me for any length of time, then I don't know what to tell you. But this is exactly what's going on here. This whole thing is just so sick. It's so freaking out of control. So look, I'm not convinced at all that this debt market issue, the sell-off, is over with. So keep your eye on the 10-year yield. Keep your eye on the relative strength of the dollar here. Better yet, the MMRI, Manarino Market Risk Indicator, which has cratered since Nick the Pig. We broke 300, going to extreme risk. Nick the Pig comes out. Mary Daly comes out, and all this just reversed. Really? Oh, how interesting. Let's see if it lasts. I am not convinced at all that it is going to last, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, are they going to float out another freak to talk the market higher, to explain that come December the Federal Reserve is going to pivot? Pivot or not, it's not going to stop what's coming. Pivot or not, it's not going to fix a damn thing. Global debt is going to continue to balloon out of control as central banks continue to inflate. Make it up. Make any of this stuff up. Anyway, as I said, I'm going to give the biggest shout out I possibly can to Dan from I Allegedly. And there is a link to Dan, I Allegedly, in the description of this video. Win yourself, or go. They're going to auction 2 of these hats off from the original batch, as this one is. So get yourself one of those. And if you want one of these, okay, let's look, I'm always about helping people out. I'm going to put this guy's information in the description of this video, all right? Call him up and tell him, say, I want a freaking Emanon hat because I'm an Emanon and I am committed to doing good. You understand? All right, look. Love all you guys and girls. I mean that from the heart, all right? And I know in all of our hearts, we are all Emanons, okay? Emanon, no name, spelled backwards. And I kind of like it. I love my little E here with the star. Look, I'm not a very creative guy. It's really the truth. And I'm proud of myself for this thing. I mean, hey, look, it's such an easy and simple concept, people. We can change the world. We can change the freaking world. If we can get more people to get hats like this, and who knows, maybe we'll have shirts or something along those lines. Just commit to doing good. I mean, come on, man. We can do this. All right, look, I'm so out of here. As I said, check the description of this video for Dan, I Allegedly, if you want to get yourself one of these hats as well. Anyway, with that said, people, look, I'll see all of you at the end of the day, and we will reconvene right here. And, That's all. Love you a lot. See you later. Okay, my beautiful friends, here we go. Another week, you and me and the freak show, and it's just okay, everybody, it is me, Gregory Manarino. It is Sunday, October 23rd, 2022, and this is my, of course, going to be extremely lovely markets. A look ahead. Man, I look like who did it in Rand, don't I? Anyway, alright, that's besides the point. Let's talk, you and me. We had, in my view, what happened Friday with regard to Nick the Pig, and then how this got just, coincidentally backed up by Fed President Mary Daly. It's pretty profound here, but nothing outside of what the Federal Reserve generally does. What am I talking about? So let's just put that into perspective real quick. We got to always look back before we can look forward, have a lot of stuff to talk to you about. So Friday morning, just prior to the open, we had a market that was set for a pan sell-off on a pretty big scale here. Dow futures were down several hundred points. S&P futures down. NASDAQ futures down. Gold and silver set to fall. Everything was set to drop. All right. Then again, what happened? A miracle. A freaking miracle. Just prior to the open, I mean, literally just prior to the open, this guy Nick here, so-called Fed Whisperer, the Fed Whisperer, he whispers about the Fed. Yeah, he gets floated out there, and then all of a sudden, I mean, this market just, ripped higher. Substantial gain across the board, especially when what Nick said got backed up by Fed President Daly. What I want to know who profited from that. Let's see. Do you think that maybe Nick himself profited from that? Maybe Fed President Mary Daly profited from that. Maybe bought calls on the S&P 500 index or something along those lines. A ton of money was made by somebody. Maybe friends of Nick the Pig, friends of Mary Daly, friends of somebody, maybe themselves. I have no idea, but I would love to find out who made money there. All right, someone did, and you can count on that. So an interesting turn of events here. Pretty profound, and I want to read something to you. In fact, I want you to have a copy of this. If you are a subscriber to my free newsletter, check your email box. You already have that in your email box, and I want you to burn a copy off, share that. It's pretty incredible, and I'm going to cover that with you here. But let's back up a moment here. So what happened? We were getting all these warnings, IMF, International Monetary Fund, or Mafia Fund as I call it. You got the World Bank, Goldman Sachs, Greg Manarino first before everybody here. Major institutions, Bank of America, with pretty stark warnings. And Janet Yellen too, she's really worried. Janet Yellen's really worried.
What's going on?
Instability in the debt market.
Criatividade.
But President Waller, he doesn't see it. He doesn't see anything wrong right now. Everything is just great. But coincidence, really?
E aí, bem-vindo, Criatividade.
crosses 300, goes into extreme risk. At the same time, Nick the pig gets floated out. At the same time, Mary Dolly, backs Nick the pig up, through the back door. You think this is all just coincidence? Happened? No, I don't think so at all. All right. The fact of the matter is, we were at least on the cusp of a meltdown in the debt market, which would just wipe everything out. But oh no, it's going to get kicked down the road here a little bit here. Look, and if this plays out to be true, that come December there's going to be some kind of a pivot from the Fed's aggressive stance. You know how serious the Fed is. Let me explain this to you. All this is bullshit, okay? Cat shit, freaking whatever kind of shit you want to pile on top of it, hippopotamus shit. Big stack to the moon here. When you hear how serious
fala português, mais ou menos.
Doing something about inflation, especially when it comes out of the mouth of a central banker, him or herself. Okay,
canadense.
The Fed, they're not going to pivot because they're really serious about it this time, and they're going to keep continuing to raise rates, which is completely ineffectual. It hasn't done a damn thing, nor is it meant to, as you have been made aware of, because we spoke about it.
Eu morei em Brasil por 4 anos.
Think of how lovely this is.
Em Porto Alegre.
For a moment, imagine you and I surrounded.
Eu aprendi todo o português lá.
Loveliness, because we are. All right, you and I knew from day one that
muito bom, obrigado.
Do a damn thing. It was never meant to do
Tava
that. Think about
100% imersão.
So central banks, they're very serious about fighting inflation. They float out this story that they're going to be raising rates aggressively, and that somehow miraculously affect inflation and bring it down. As we all know, many months this is going on. Hasn't worked at all. It's not meant to. It's meant to hit the economy and obviously hit the people themselves. And in some roundabout way, as it crushes the economy and the people along with it, it's supposed to slow down inflation. Imagine that kind of a scheme. Trickle down, trickle up, or any of these kind of schemes, they don't work. They're not meant to work. Duh. Can I get a double? Duh. Duh. Triple duh. Okay? Well, what would work? You know what would work? People contracting the money supply. This is a currency issue. We're in a currency free fall, currency crisis. It's full blown. Anyway, with that said, I want to read this to you, alright? Just bear with me on this, and I want you to have copies of stuff like this. It's important to keep on your computer. You can refer back to these things. Again, if you're a subscriber to my free newsletter, and it's really free, there is a link in the description of this video. Click on that if you're not subscribed yet. But if you are subscribed, you already have it in your inbox, and I want you to have it and keep it. So anyway, here we go. Ready? Fed blinks, but will it last? Here we go. Bye. Lovely. Me, of course. We're all lovely. Don't forget that. Here are the facts. What are the facts? Okay, here they are. 2 major events are taking place simultaneous right now. Number freaking 1. Freaking isn't in there, but I like to, ad-lib a little bit. So, number 1. The global debt market is teetering on the edge of an implosion. But how do we know that this is true? How do we know? Okay. Global bonds were at least.
Baron, man, holy shit, dude! Thank you, man. What? Yeah, man. Sorry, I was gone. I was gone for 15 days.
Moreover, the relative strength of the dollar
are you serious?
continues to increase, which is clearly
what? Baron, thanks, man. I was gonna send you a message, man. I was gonna be like, dude, I'm sorry for being late for friggin'.
Okay, but from the World
2 weeks.
Bank, the IMF. Superbank, Goldman Sachs, and most
yeah, man, I've been friggin' just depressed with the state of the world.
And you know what they said, people. You know what they said. Fragile.
Not even the fucking Ukraine bullshit, fake bullshit. Just the fucking. Yeah, you feel that? Yeah, man. Just the fucking.
Really?
Honestly, what the fuck's going on in Pennsylvania, man? Holy shit, dude.
Number 2, on an absolute basis, the purchasing power
fucking with Fetterman and fucking Dr. Oz. Do you think Dr. Oz controlled opposition? He might be, honestly.
In real time, we are witnessing the consequences of a full-on
some absolute nonsense, yeah.
Punishing and worsening inflation on a worldwide scale.
I cannot believe the Fetterman dude. Oh, for sure. Well, obviously their agenda's all fucked.
Central banks. I'm just adding this.
Right, it doesn't matter who the guy is. The agenda, as you know,
the money supply.
Obvi.
None. Their
Yo,
goal.
thanks so much
What
for
is
the
the
sub,
goal of
man.
the central bank again?
Yeah,
To
dude.
continue to inflate.
After
And
watching
what we're
Oz,
seeing now
Oz looks like controlled opposition to the
it's
Dems.
unprecedented. Central banks.
Just him
in a
going
very
and saying that shit
successful
about
push
the abortion
here
being
to
part of up to
become
the state.
the
Like there's
lenders and buyers
like
of
that's
last
such a line
resort
to be
here.
used, and obviously
Okay?
this
And they
whole
got puppet
the whole
governments,
the whole Supreme
you know,
Court decision about
literally
overturning Roe
puppetized
versus
right
Wade
now.
was just so that people flock to
This
Democrats.
act,
Obviously,
with
you know all that
this
shit.
Program, whatever
But just
it might be,
that
funding
line, that
wars,
one
trade
line,
wars, and everything else to continue
and
to
you
pull
can't
cash into
trust
the now
Dr.
from the
Oz.
future.
Such
We
a
don't
fucking
have
slime.
any
Well,
of this
obviously, you gotta
cash,
vote for him,
people.
but
The other 50
you know
billion
what
or
I mean?
51
Like,
billion that
shit's
we're
just
sending
so
over to
fucked, man.
Ukraine now, where does it come from? We don't have it. We're broke. Oh, I didn't vote for that war, did you? Oh yeah, but you're funding it. How do you feel about that? Anyway, here we go. For many weeks now, going back to this paper here, the issue of worsening instability in the global
Either
debt
them, oh hell
has
no.
rattled stock markets worldwide, not just
Sorry,
in the
man.
United States. You see, what they try to do
I really
is
am
keep you in
sorry,
a
dude.
box. If you're in the United States and you think everything's unique to the United States, like surging inflation, like markets
Yo, thanks for
going
the
all
sub,
over
man.
the place,
18 months?
and
Holy
everything
shit,
else,
dude.
and the economy in free fall.
A year
No,
and a
this is
half.
global
That's amazing, buddy.
phenomenon
Thank
because
you, man.
central banks are doing this
Especially
by
during
design.
a workout
By
stream
design,
again, man.
Okay, collectively,
Holy shit, I was gonna send you a message, man. I obviously,
remember when Yellow stayed
you know,
in power?
if someone subs me, I'm gonna.
Well,
Well, one, it's you. I don't want to be like, hey, Darren,
yeah,
fucking.
but we don't
Sorry for being away for so long. And also, since you saw it, it's like, well, fuck.
No,
I gotta fuck- should.
Are you kidding me? Okay, anyway.
Should not fucking
Every
not be here.
syllable that
Tomorrow I
passes
might go
through
to
the
Matt's
lips of a
place
central banker is
if I get
a
my
lie.
car back, and
Every
we might
single one of them,
might
they're all
stream, we
lying,
might not, I
they're
don't know.
distorting the truth. They're having you look here or you should look
Out in
here. You're
Guelph.
being propagandized, and I don't see
with
it
the
out
DJ
fly
equipment.
anywhere.
I'm getting
But,
picking up my turntables for now.
You and I are trying to do something about it.
I'm
So
use
anyway,
them. I'm
for
gonna be
many
streaming
weeks
from
now, the
here.
issuing of
Turntables
worsening
or mixers
instability
having
in the global
issues.
debt market
Everything's
has
just
rattled stock markets
fucking up in
worldwide.
the air, man.
As of late, I have
It's just all, like,
very forcefully
Post eclipse. Things are good though.
in my
Like
daily market
we're in
reports
good
like
shape,
this one.
but man,
Markets to look ahead. Here we go.
shit's just
On
so.
YouTube, that without
The eclipse
direct-
yesterday, or what?
without
Yesterday,
direct
2 days ago.
and
2 days ago was really powerful.
intervention by central banks to stabilize
Fucking
the
really
debt market, this entire thing would implode.
Brought out,
Okay, what we got
removed all the
Friday
bullshit, and everyone's
was
now fucking
direct intervention here, people. With Nick the
seeing the
freaking
truth where it
pig
is.
and freaking Mary Dolly, those two freaks out here. I'm telling you, they probably made all kinds of money. Someone
Yeah,
made
man, I'm
money
gonna
here
stream
over what
games again,
happened,
I
and I
swear.
want to know who they were.
Soon,
I
it'll
really
be
do.
good.
Okay, because if it were you or I, that's market manipulation.
Yeah, dude,
on
I
a
saw that
grand
shit. I
scale,
don't- oh
what
my
Nick
God.
the pig did. Okay, but it's
Yeah,
fine.
for sure.
Nothing is gonna happen to Nick the pig.
Doesn't
the pig.
still doesn't
You know why?
excuse it. The
Because he's
terror
the
and like they're
whisperer.
still
He's
planning
the
to do it again,
whisperer.
and it's
Yeah.
it's insane,
Are you
man.
kidding me? Make this stuff
The
up.
terror that fucking Biden's speech, like fucking yo,
Okay.
man.
So
A
anyway,
year ago,
the MMRI. On
yesterday,
Friday
I
crossed
went
the
to
300 mark for the
Miami.
first
I was
time
in
ever,
Boston Airport, man.
reflecting that risk in the market has now hit.
You
an
fucking gave me
extreme
hope
level.
in Boston Airport, man.
Coincidentally, just as
Literally
the
1 year ago
MMRI crossed the
yesterday.
300,
I was gonna stream, but I was like, man, I'm just
threshold
so
here.
fucking
lovely
bitter.
Nick.
A
how would
year,
you say
man.
his name?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Whatever. I call him a pig.
I'm back in the same spot.
Okay. Who's also known as the Fed Whisperer, was floated out to whisper
it.
that it was highly likely that come December the Federal Reserve
man.
would pivot from its aggressive raising rates and the stock market ripped higher. Moreover, not only did the stock market surge higher, but the 10-year yield, which is the benchmark, dropped 10 basis
Yeah, it's so
points.
crazy about that
the relative
fucking
strength of the dollar
New York
versus-
City and all that bullshit, man.
But it gets better.
The amount of terror
But
that they
it
put us through,
gets even more lovely.
and they're going to do again.
I'm singing in the morning.
And you know the amount of money that was lost. Like they're just such fucking assholes.
So right after our lovely friend Nick was floated out to whisper,
They're such fucking assholes,
that come
man.
December Fed would likely pivot. Also, of course, just by coincidence,
Oh,
people,
well,
you
that's
know,
it. No
okay,
one's gonna
so it's
save you,
coincidence
dude.
there.
No one's gonna
Fed
save
President
us.
Mary Dowling
That's
made a public
the
statement
fucking point
also
of
stating that come December,
Aquarius is moving
Fed
into
may
fucking
pivot as a result of big rally in the
fucking
stock market.
Saturn's
Of
moving into
course,
Pisces
you know that all
in
these events
6 months or so. It's getting out of this
repeated
Aquarius
warnings, the
shit.
MMRI crossing 300,
Learning about
statement by the
independence and
whisperer
science and all
himself,
that
Nick the
bullshit.
Pig,
The vaccine
backed up
mandates
by
now.
Fed President Dowling.
In
Oh,
like
just
6 months,
coincidence.
we're
It's
gonna learn
happening all at the
things
same
like no
time.
one's gonna save
This is
us, and
just happened to play
Gotta-
out like that. People imagine just
gotta learn the
no one's
just
could possibly
very
have seen
Piscean
that
issues.
coming.
I don't
Alright.
even know what the fuck else.
Understand,
If I
this
did,
is
we
the
wouldn't
key
go through
here,
it.
All right. Understand Whatever action
Last
that
time
whatever action the Fed or any
Saturn
other
was in
central
Pisces
bank
was
may
in
undertake here, any attempt to
how many years ago?
stabilize this
Long time
grossly
ago.
hyperinflated debt market super bubble will only cause
Like in
global
early 90s?
inflation to rise even faster. Okay, it's all inflationary, but you're not allowed to know that.
Mid-90s?
Oh, no, because the Fed's serious about fighting inflation. You know they are.
Shit's fucked, man.
Moreover, it would not prevent a total, an absolute
I hope you're good,
systemic
man.
breakdown of the global financial system from occurring. Ain't happening, people. All
I'm
it
looking for
will
work
do
right now,
is
but I'm really
exacerbate
not
the underlying problem
inspired
and push it off
at all
temporarily.
to work for anybody.
As I said, I want you to have a copy of these things. Certain things I put out are really important. And I always laugh into half of this thing because it's just,
If
you
that's some man,
laugh
you
or you
fucking
cry
ruined
or
it.
you have a freaking meltdown. I don't know, maybe it's a coping mechanism on my part. I want you to have these things. I want you to make a file. Seriously, save these things. Read through these things. Anyway, people, look. You know the deal. You know what's going on. Now, looking ahead to this week. All right. Let's see how the market digests what just happened with this whole thing here. All right, with Nick the Pig, with Mary Daly. Let's just see. Are we going to witness, come tomorrow, some stabilization here in the debt market, a weakening of the dollar on a relative basis, or is this all just going to fly away out the window? What's going to happen? What's going to freaking happen? Look, your guess is as good as mine. I would say this, all right. I'm going to go out on a limb here. And I'm going to say the market's going to be giddy. It's still going to have a little sense of euphoria tomorrow. Look, if we get a follow-through rally after having this big rally on Friday and on the back of all this, that's obviously bullish. But we need to see a few things happen longer term. Without some stability here in the debt market and a weaker dollar on a relative basis, this is over, okay? And, all the jawboning by Nick the Pigs, and of course there's going to be more Nick the Pigs out here to float out to talk the market up, and more Fed freak show. Who knows? Maybe Lex Luthor himself, who did say last week, the Fed's going to maintain its stance here. Oh, yes, they're going to be raising rates very aggressively. Yes, that's what we're going to do. I'm talking about Neil Kashkari, freaking Lex Luthor. You ever look at that guy's eyes? They're like this. What do they say? The eyes are the mirror into the soul. Well, look at that guy's eyeballs, and you tell me that guy's not, like, I don't know, from hell or something. I don't know. He ain't from a nice place here. Okay. Anyway, we're gonna keep our eyes on all this, people. Moving into next week, focus again on the MMRI. We broke 300. When we got all this fantastic whispered news, came back down. Back down below 300. 10-year yield, reversed lower, relative strength of the dollar. All right, let's see if this plays out moving forward. Is the market going to laugh this off and just shrug it off and go and say, okay, whatever, or are we going to drop? I don't know. We're going to see tomorrow, and I can tell you this, I'm interested to see what happens. And you know what we're going to do, you and me? We're going to do it together. We're going to go through all of this together. It's a freaking freak show on an incredible freaking scale. And other than me looking completely ghastly today, don't look at that, I look horrible. Other than that, I'm sure you look lovely, all of you. You're all beautiful and surrounded by little puffs of loveliness. Never forget that, too. I brought this up many, many years ago, that we're surrounded by little puffs of loveliness. We really are, And just keep that in mind as we wade our way, or frolic our way, through the freak show. Because it is a freak show. And I'm having some fun here. Why? I have no idea. Well, maybe because we're together, and I enjoy this part. I really do. I feel like, look, I sit here with this microphone and this camera here, but I really honestly feel like I'm talking to you. Right? Honestly.
Yo, seriously, dude, thanks for the sub, man. That fucking...
I know it sounds like it's really stupid, but I've been out here for a long time. And a lot of you have been with me for a really, really long time. And I don't know. I love that. I feel like we're a family. This is our thing, Costa Nostra. Yeah, that's our thing. Anyway, look, I'm out of here. This guy here, again, loves you a lot. Share the video. Please comment. What do you think about all this here? At least we're having fun. This whole shit house may be going up in flames, but we're having fun. And if you can't have fun during times like this, when can you have fun? Will someone let me know on that? All right. please get your copy of that. Again, if it's in your inbox, if you do subscribe to my free newsletter. If you don't, subscribe to my free newsletter down here and get your own copy. This guy is like so out of here, and I will see all of you, of course, in the morning, and we will resume the festivities. I'm out. Okay, everybody, it's me, Gregory Manarino. This is not my general post-market report because the stock market is still open. As I am doing this, it is 11:14 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I wanted to get this video out as kind of a special report because what's happening right now, well, it's not really a major surprise to me and probably won't be to you after I explain what is going on here. Let's back up just a few hours ago. Pre-market today, stock futures were down across the board. Big time, okay? You had knee-jerk higher in the dollar substantially, over 1%. The 10-year yield, 4.3. The MMRI, over 300, yes. And then a miracle happens. Just prior to the stock market open, just prior to the bell, sit back for this one, okay? It's kind of interesting. So this guy Nick here, I call him Nick the Pig. I know a lot of you don't like that already because I've been calling him Nick the Pig. Who is Nick the Pig? Nick the Pig is the Fed whisperer. You know, he's supposed to know what's going on before it happens, before the Federal Reserve, you know, does what they do. Well, Nick the Pig here was floated out to say, hey, it looks like the Fed's going to pivot here come December. All of a sudden, all of this reversed big time. Green across the board. 10-year yield comes down. Dollar reverses lower here. MMRI drops below 300. It gets better than that. Just to push this point home, they float out. They float out Fed President Daly. Fed President Daly, let me get this right here. Okay, Fed President Daly is saying that the Federal Reserve may be tightening too much. And come December, just coincidence between Nick the Pig and Fed Daly, you know, the confused one, gender confused. Backing up what Nick the Pig said, oh yeah, looks like the Fed's going to start, you know, easing off come December. People, what is this? Clearly, this is some kind of a message to the market. Look, you and I realize, without some kind of intervention, this whole thing was about to implode. Don't take my word for it. Look at Bank of America. Look at this freaking headline here. The IMF, the World Bank. We could go on and on. The MMRI breaking 300. Now we're below 300. I've been telling you for I don't know how long. If central banks don't take action, this is over. This is over. Well, it looks like, to me, look, this is no coincidence that all this is happening right now. Does it seem like a coincidence to you? MMRI breaks 300. You got the Bank of America with this talking about a breakdown in the debt market here. And all of a sudden, market slated to crater at the open, a pan sell-off. All of a sudden reverses when they float out Nick the Pig. Nick the Pig. They float him out and they back that up with Fed President Daly. I mean, come on. So this is some kind of a message to the market. This is what they do. The Federal Reserve is notorious for doing this kind of thing, for floating out whoever they got to float out, jawbone the market. Is it going to last? That's really the question here. Now that the market has been kind of reassured that, the Fed is going to pivot come next month, you know what makes me laugh? I'm going to tell you what makes Greg Manarino laugh. All right. I probably, unlike all of you out here, have the displeasure of flipping through the mainstream propaganda ministries day after freaking day. And I listen to what they say, and there is no way the Fed's going to pivot. They are committed to doing something about inflation. Absolutely ineffectual here. They've been raising rates now for many months, along with central banks. Hasn't worked. Wasn't meant to work since day one, and you know that because we talked about it right here. They want to do something about inflation, what would they do? Central banks would advise or force the big institutions to hold some capital in reserve here, but no red zero in the United States. That would help inflation. They're not going to stop here. So what they're doing now, again, okay, how does the Fed, let's just throw this out here. How does the Federal Reserve control bond yields and rates? How does it do that? Can it just say, oh, lovely people, what we're going to do is we're going to keep rates low, or we're going to pivot, or whatever it might be. The Fed must get into the market here and make it happen. Meaning, they got to create insane amounts of cash out of thin air, add it to a digital screen, buy the debt. Okay, to me, this looks like a pivot. Right now, this looks like a pivot, and the market's going to price it in because they floated out Nick the Pig, and now they floated out Dolly, the gender confused one over here. Okay, you don't have nicknames for everybody, and that's just the way it is. You want to make up a nickname for me? That's fine. All right. I just have to do this, the goal. Every time I say the goal, I got to do the face, and then we got Lex Luthor over there. Neil Kashkari. I mean, come on. Yellowstain and Yellowstain and President Imbecile, Mummy Man. I got all these names for everyone. If I don't call them these things, and I think these names are very fitting, Greg Manarino will go crazy. Nothing is ever what it seems to be. I've been telling you that since time immemorial. Today, people, was classic. I mean, you want to talk about classic? Well, this is it. It's amazing to me. But they had to take action. Something had to be done here, okay? We were on the cusp of a freaking meltdown. It may not be over. I am not saying that this is over. But when they floated out Nick the Pig today, followed up by Dolly the over there, and this market now is up like 700 points with regard to the Dow Jones Industrial Average, you think that's just a coincidence? Really? No, it's Nick the Pig. And it's the other one over there, Dolly, who are jawboning this market, reassuring the market that everything's going to be okay. Look, I really believe this. You and I realized that something was going to be done. Well, that was it. Or we were really at the moment where this was going to come apart. This is not going to fix a damn thing. Do understand what I'm telling you here. Is this going to prop up the market? Let's just say, let's throw out a hypothetical here. Let's say come December, Nick the Pig and Dolly are correct. And the Fed pivots, they start, okay, you know what, we're not going to be so aggressive anymore. We're going to start, maybe we're going to raise rates, but it's only going to be 50 basis points, maybe 25, and maybe we'll take a break. The stock market is gonna spray its shorts like you have no idea. It's going to be running down their legs, The members of the Federal Reserve, look, this is what they want to do anyway. They want to continue to inflate, and they're going to make up reasons to continue to do so. If that means they have to pivot or, not be so aggressive here. Meanwhile, they continue to inflate the global money supply. We're sending another $50 billion over to freaking Ukraine, a war that you and I never voted for, people. It's not going to stop. Wars, expanding wars, this act, this policy, whatever they got to do, these puppets that are put in charge of all of us here, okay, who are really nothing, and the central banks here who really run the entire show. Is this any surprise to you? Nick the Pig and the freaking Dolly, the other thing over there, they're both things in their tools. You know when the Fed talks about tools in their toolbox? Well, Nick the Pig is a tool. You understand? Oh, let's float out Nick the Pig, the Fed whisperer, the Fed whisperer. Gonna whisper to the market, and the market's gonna get all orgasmic over it. Look at this. Look what's going on here. It's incredible. So anyway, gold and silver here made a nice turnaround. The dollar, I mean, massive reversal here. 10-year yield, last time we looked at it, dropped 10 basis points. And again, the MMRI, which cracked 300 to extreme risk. You think this is all coincidence now? Just dropped. Man, I tell you. This is unbelievable what we're seeing, people. What else would you expect? What else did I write down here? I wrote down a few things, but I think I kind of covered it all. It's kind of funny. Let me cover something else just real quick. So you got these mainstream propagandists talking about, well, why is it earnings are coming in better than expected? Let me explain this to you. What these big companies do is they always tell you a worst case scenario. Oh, watch for earnings. They may not be so good. And all of a sudden, by some miracle, earnings just come in better than expected. They always do this. This is another game that these corporations play over and over and over again, so they can go, oh, the company XYZ, oh, they beat earnings estimates. Imagine my shock. It's a setup. They all play this freaking game. Every single company, they always explain how their earnings may not come in so good because the economy is shit and everything else. But all of a sudden, oh, it's a miracle. Earnings are coming in better than expected. All this stuff is just a game. All of it is. Okay, the distractions, the deceptions, the look here. But to me, this today, this takes the freaking cake. I mean, you and I have been so clear that some action had to be taken. Something had to happen, and it did, in my view. Let's float out Pigman, Nick the Pig, and let's float out Dolly, and they're gonna tell us that the market is gonna pivot in December, and the market's gonna go crazy. Yeah, duh! Look what's happening here, people. Come on! Oh my Lord, I'm sweating. I'm okay now. Here I am. Hey, look. So here's the story. Stock trading goes on for about another hour and a half from the time I am doing this. Are we going to finish negative today? You know, I'll tell you something, nothing would surprise me. But as I am doing this video blog, stocks are in rally mode across the freaking board. And for those of you who have been asking, yes, I am still buying JEPI. When I tell you, and I've told all of you before when I have dumped assets, when I tell you I'm going to dump it, I will. I've been buying this stuff hand over fist. I own thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of shares of JEPI, just so you know. Many, many thousands of shares of this. And I fully intend to buy more. Why? Because this is a game and they're going to continue to play it. And I sincerely believe that the Fed not only just blinked, but had this planned all the freaking long. You think it's a coincidence that they floated out Nick the Pig today? Just at that moment when the MMRI crosses 300, just at the moment when this market's about to crater at the open, you think it's really just coincidence? How about freaking no? No, there are no coincidences here. But turn on Bloomberg, turn on CNBC, turn on Fox Business, and watch the commentators. This is what they look like because they're going orgasmic over the market. Oh! That's what they're doing. They get off on this. They get off on this like you can't believe. Sure, everybody loves it. When the stock market's going high, everybody loves it. None more than the freaking commentators. They just spray their shorts everywhere, upside down, backwards, and sideways. Energy's higher, financials higher. I mean, what a turnaround. I mean, yeah, thanks Nick the Pig. My JEPI shares doing pretty damn good today. Thanks, Fed President Dolly, doing great, fantastic. The bigger picture is simple, people. These central banks are not done, okay? I was convinced for a very long time that they weren't done, and then I was saying, hold on a minute, they're not really doing anything. MMRI hitting an extreme or a critical level here. Bond market teetering on the edge. You got Bank of America, World Bank, IMF, everyone warning, Janet Yellen staying, nothing's happening. All of a sudden, this? Really? Coincidence? You believe that's a coincidence? I don't think you do. There's nobody who follows this blog. Nobody who's that stupid. You all freaking brilliant in my book, and I love every single one of you. That's the truth. All right, look. This is going to be my last video of the day. I'm not going to do one post-market because I covered what I wanted to do here. Anyway, this guy here loves you a lot, people, and I mean that. Contemplate these things. I want to hear from you. What do you think about Nick the Pig? You think this is all just, really just happened? I don't think you do. Amazing. It really is. The central banks have every avenue covered that you can dream about, think about, and fantasize about. They got it, and they got everyone in their pocket. They need someone to go out there and jawbone the market. They need people like Nick the Pig, whatever. Oh yeah, float him out there. Send him a letter. Tell this guy to go out there because we need to do some freaking damage control. Not going to stop, but it's massively inflationary. Okay, what central banks are going to do now is even more inflationary than before. You think this is going to stop? Really? This environment we are in? No, not going to stop anytime soon. And I don't even know if it's really over. Let's see how this plays out. Do yourself a favor. Keep your eyes on 10-year yield, Relative strength of the dollar, better yet, the Mannarino market risk indicator. This thing is doing exactly what it was designed to do. I mean, come on. Like I said, coincidence? MMRI just breaks 300 and then we get Nick the Pig? You think that's a coincidence? Oh, I don't think it is. No, Nick the Pig. Nick the Pig. What is it? Oink. I can't think of what a pig does. Anyway, look. This guy here loves you a lot. Please comment. Please share this video. Please get it out there. Okay? Bring it in. Love each other. Care about each other. Be charitable. You're going to see this guy on Sunday for my markets to look ahead. And it's going to be lovely and perfect and probably orgasmic. All right? With that said, I'll see you Sunday, and I am just gone. Okay, everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino. It is Friday, October 21st, 2022. People, here's the story right now. The opening bell goes off in just about 38 minutes. Expect a pan sell-off. That means everything is selling off here. We have a problem. You know exactly what I am talking about. I expect right at the open, the MMRI, Mannarino Market Risk Indicator, again, free to everybody on this planet that wants to have a look at it, link in the description of this video, to breach extreme risk. Now, what is that telling us, people? Clearly, you all know, if you have been following this blog, that we have a ticking time bomb that is ticking louder and faster. This issue here with debt market instability is getting seriously out of hand. Central banks right now seem determined to destroy the entire economy by this fictitious, misleading, deceptive tactic, explaining to people that they really got to fight inflation, so we're going to aggressively raise rates. And all this has done here is, again, destroy our economy. It's taking the people with it globally. This is a coordinated effort by design here. And it doesn't seem like central banks are going to do a damn thing about it, at least right now. Immediate action has to be taken, and I mean immediate action. Look, is it possible that some outlying event could occur here that would force the Fed and other central banks to get in here and start doing something to stabilize the debt market? Absolutely, that could happen. But consider how this works. Let's just throw out a hypothetical here. Something occurs where central bank, of course it would be engineered. Okay, some event occurs. And central banks say, okay, everyone, we're going to, start to ease back on hiking rates, and we're going to start to buy the debt. This is all massively inflationary, and you're not supposed to know that. You see, the propaganda, part of the propaganda here is tricking people into thinking there is a solution. There is no solution to the situation here. Central banks in direct collusion with puppet governments around the world, none more so than here in the United States. These last three presidents, including the current freak sitting behind the Resolute desk, have done everything in their power to allow the Federal Reserve to inflate. Our last president, I know how many of you love the guy, all right? He's way better than this guy, I guess, in some perspectives, but they're all the same. Was calling for negative rates, was calling for a weaker dollar. And what would that have done if that actually did occur? It would have made the Fed even stronger, okay? It's all a game that is being played on the people of the world here. Allowing central banks to continue to inflate makes them more powerful. Calling on a central bank to weaken the currency. And you see how that's playing out right now. This global inflationary issue. Worse in Europe, but it's getting pretty bad here in the United States with no end in sight. They can't stop it. Central banks here have pushed us all into a corner, not them. You see, their power resides in their ability to inflate. A lot of you feel that central banks are stuck They're not stuck. We're stuck. You and I are stuck here. And they will inflate. They will continue to magnify the global money supply, which is the real issue here. A currency free fall, as you are well aware of, if you follow this blog, is the reason why we're having skyrocketing inflation with no end in sight. As a matter of fact, with regard to economic news here, let's go over that just real quick. So every single economic indicator is pointing lower, meaning the economy is nowhere near any kind of a recovery whatsoever. Although, if you were to listen to retarded presidents and puppet leaders around the world, they're going to tell you how great we're doing. All right. Every single inflation indicator is pointing towards more inflation coming. You see, this stuff is being hidden deliberately by the powers that be that run the freaking propaganda ministry. And it's all about deceptions, distractions. Look here, don't look here. New variant, be very afraid of this new variant. Absolutely, because it's going to kill you. And as you all know, the greatest threat to humankind is this debt bubble implosion that is going to occur here. It's all a game. It's a mind screw on an unprecedented scale, and people are being led like sheep to the slaughter. Period. The end. So going back to the situation here, this cannot be fixed. All that can happen here is this gets worse. No matter how you want to look at it. For example, like I said, central banks continuing to inflate, using puppet governments to borrow cash into the now from the future. That's not going to stop. This crisis, that crisis, another crisis, whatever it is, something to throw more cash at. And that is inflationary. It balloons the money supply, destroys the purchasing power of the currency, because the overall global pool of currency keeps getting larger. Now, I'm just going to go over this real quick because I've done it a million times, but there's a lot of new people here. How does the currency get value? When the Federal Reserve or any central bank creates a dollar out of thin air or adds it to a digital screen, is it immediately worth $1? No. It has to steal value or purchasing power from every other existing bill in whatever form it exists. Okay, so a bill being added to the global pool of fiat currencies, again, weakens the entire pool of currency. So it gets its purchasing power sucked out. Henceforth, why you're seeing inflation and this global race to the bottom. No one's talking about this on the mainstream, and they never will. How central banks are deliberately killing their currencies. Henceforth, why they continue to inflate the money supply globally, and why there's not even a slightest talk anywhere how central banks should be contracting the money supply. Oh, no. See, because the goal here is to continue to inflate and drag the people along with it, trying to convince them that central banks are on some kind of mission to make things better. No, they're on a mission to make things a lot worse. What are central banks doing? They are forging a way, forcefully and successfully, to be the lenders and buyers of last resort, to finish what they started, their final freaking solution, people. I've used this word for years, okay? And it should make sense. You look up final solution, okay? Maybe you should read about what that was all about, and we're seeing it again here. It's the same thing, okay? But this time is much, much worse. Much, much worse. It will kill many more people than the final solution that was instituted. I'm not even going to talk about this anymore here. Probably get my channel banned. But anyway, look it up for yourself. They are pushing us into a situation here of epic proportions here, people. You know this. A resource issue on an unprecedented scale. Forget about supply chain disruptions that we have now. They're blaming this on inflation and everything else. It's the currency free fall. It's the fact that the economy is in free fall. And this is nothing. When this debt market really gives way, and it's starting to move here, okay? 10-year yield this morning, 4.3. Okay, the dollar, the knee-jerk higher in the dollar is a big, I can't stress to you enough what a tell this is. The knee-jerk reaction into the dollar is a fear trade. Okay, when you see that, it shows that the market is smelling something, and that odor is getting pretty freaking vicious. And as you can see right now, stock futures lower across the board, at least they were. Pressure on everything. Pan sell-off right here at the open. Let's see what they pull off. Today, I can't imagine that the MMRI will not break 300. That's extreme risk. Extreme risk should tell you something. I've been warning people, I don't know for how long now, if you're in the market, hedge your positions or get out. Or get out of the market, okay? This is a very bad situation that is getting progressively worse. The economic news, bad across the board, does not stop. Understand? Okay. So we have, again, this pan sell-off. Silver under a lot of pressure this morning. Gold under pressure. Crude oil under some pressure. Cryptocurrencies under pressure. A pan sell-off means everything's selling off. The debt market is on fire right now. It's burning, all right? And this burning right now could potentially turn into an inferno. All right? Don't listen to Greg Manarino anymore. Listen to the Bank of America. All right? Read this. Fragile treasury market, debt market, is at risk of large-scale forced selling or surprise that leads to breakdown. Duh. Okay? You and I have been so freaking far ahead of the curve on this. I honestly am the first guy. I'm the first guy who has been trying to raise awareness here with this issue from a decade ago. And now, bang, here we are. And we're just in the, and I'm telling you right now, this is just the opening act. This is the opening act to what's coming. Be ready. Prepare yourselves, okay? Mentally, physically, spiritually, every way you can think about. Start to form alliances with people. Do it now, okay? Those neighbors that you ignore every day as you walk by, that maybe you should start to pay attention to, you people are going to need each other, okay? In a worst case scenario, and that looks like where we're going, pandemonium. Absolute pandemonium on the streets on a global level. So anyway, and understand what you're seeing. Do you think this is by accident? Any of it, really? Are you trying to tell me that central banks didn't foresee this coming? Meanwhile, you and I knew it. We've been talking about this for over a freaking decade. And are we smarter than central bankers? Well, maybe that's true. But I'm telling you, they not only did they know it, they've been fostering, and their central banks collectively are pushing the world deliberately to this breaking point. They're breaking the economy. They're breaking the economy. That's all they're doing with their rate hikes. It's not stopping inflation, nor is it even meant to do it. You know that because I've been covering it to the point of nauseum lately. They want to fix the inflationary issue. Force the banks or tell the banks to raise the capital reserve requirements. We could stop inflation in its tracks. But no, you will never, ever hear this from a single propaganda ministry, CNBC, Fox Business, Bloomberg. You think you're going to hear one of those commentators talk about that? No, because they can't tell you. Even though many of them know it's true, they can't let you know. It's the sickest freaking thing on the face of the earth. People don't know what else to tell you. Look, I've covered a lot here in this video blog, and I am trying desperately to raise awareness as to what is going on, and there's no end to it. It's going to accelerate here. It's just a matter of time, maybe even today. We don't know when we start to see monumental jumps higher in that 10-year yield. Where it's getting out of hand as it is, okay? And this knee-jerk higher in the dollar, this phenomenon is not going to stop either. And I'm talking about the relative strength of the dollar. People, look, we're in a currency crisis, a currency free fall. Central banks, this is deliberate, okay? On relative terms, the dollar will remain strong and get stronger as other currencies free fall faster. You understand? In absolute terms, you can expect the purchasing power of all fiat currencies, which include the dog shit dollar, to continue to crater. And what does that mean? It means inflation is going much higher, but you see, the lie must be sold to you. Fed President Harker yesterday, he sees this. He sees inflation dropping significantly in 23. Really? When a central banker tells you that, you know the polar opposite is true. Am I right? Okay? People, look, I'm going to urge you, if you are new here, share this stuff. Get it out as far and wide as you can. I am not on a single social network, so I count on all of you. Facebook, Twitter, wherever you post your stuff. Take this video and get it out there. People need to become aware of what's happening here. We're making a difference. We're making noise. This channel's getting bigger every day, leaps and bounds. Okay, so we're obviously doing something right. This isn't my thing. This is our thing. I've been telling you this for years here. All right, we're a team, you and I. We got to get this stuff out there because you're never going to hear this anyplace else. All right, people, look, out of here. I am out of here. We will reconvene in this lovely spot. Later on today, we'll sum this all up, and we'll see what kind of tricks they pull off. Follow the MMRI, okay? I can't imagine that we're not going to break 300 today, okay? Link in the description of this video. Check that out. Save that to your computer, and I mean, it's a big tell. I don't know what else to say here. When I first put that thing out, we're in the 80s, maybe even lower than that. We're now going to break 300, which is extreme risk. Take this seriously, people, or I don't know what else to tell you. Blow it off if you want to, but I would strongly advise against that. All right, I'm out of here. I will see you later. Okay, everybody, it is me, Gregory Manarino. It is Thursday, October 20th, 2022. Read this. Let's read this together, okay? Fragile treasury market is at risk of large-scale forced selling or surprise that leads to breakdown. This is from Bank of America, a major Wall Street institution. People, this right here is what I have been warning about for years, especially as of late. In my opinion, and obviously Bank of America, we have a big problem here, okay? This problem is so monumental that it cannot, you really can't put a perspective on this. A systemic breakdown of the global financial system, as I have been warning about repeatedly as of late and for years, okay? You know, look, you and I, we are so far ahead of the curve. Sometimes it gives me freaking chills just thinking about it. You don't need to be some kind of financial genius, rocket scientist, brain surgeon, whatever it might be to see the writing on the wall. This issue here with regard to the debt market is a clear and present danger, not only people to the financial system, because that's what people care about. My money, my money. What about your life? This is a threat to human existence. This is a threat to mankind. This is how severe this is. A meltdown, or in their words, a breakdown of the financial system would lead to, as you all know, I'm going to tell you again, I don't care how many times I have to say this, a complete lockup of the financial system. Transactions stop. Try to use your debit card. Try to use your credit card. Try to get cash out of the bank. Try to transact in any way. It ain't happening, okay? A massive, major resource problem on an unprecedented scale is going to sweep the globe. Pandemonium in the freaking streets. That's how this is going to play out. Don't listen to Greg Manarino anymore. Oh, don't even listen to yourself. Listen to Bank of America, people, okay? Listen to freaks like Janet Yellen, who's explaining, oh, there's a problem now. Listen to the IMF, the World Bank, major institutions, Goldman Sachs, I mean, multi-billionaire investors. It's out there. Except you're not hearing enough about this on the mainstream propaganda ministry. They got to distract you and deflect you and have you focus on this new variant now they're talking about that is very dangerous and resistant to everything they want to throw at it. This is the truth. Go look it up for yourself, okay? Focus on this while this entire other thing is happening. You cannot compare the threat that some disease process like they're throwing at us again right now has to a systemic global meltdown of the financial system. This is the greatest threat to human life and humankind as I am doing this. There's nothing else that comes close. A nuclear exchange, Armageddon, as our illustrious president recently said here, global warming, nothing comes close. This is real. Okay. Now, the MMRI, Manarino Market Risk Indicator, 296.5. We are knocking on that 300 door. Okay, 300 isn't a line in the sand, but over 300 is extreme risk. Do you think, just for a nanosecond that it's any coincidence that the MMRI is nearing 300 and we get this and we get this? Really? No, there's no coincidence here. The MMRI works. Okay, I know that it used to be a lot of critics. Where are they now? Crickets. I didn't hear a damn thing. Okay, these people just don't understand what they're looking at. Of course, they're trying to, whatever. There's a lot of people that don't like me for whatever reason because they tell them the truth. They hear the truth. The first thing people do when you tell them even a shred of truth is they get angry and they lash out at you. Oh no! Oh, that's my life. Get me! Yeah, it's unbelievable. Seriously. So anyway, 10-year yield 4.22. Dollar fractionally lower today. Stock markets, there's some pressure, nothing major at all. Wait till this thing gets started. Wait till this happens, okay? Forget about Greg Manarino now. This is what I've been telling you for years, all right? I can't stress this to you enough. Prepare yourselves. Be ready for what's coming. Because unless there is some kind of intervention, immediately, okay? Not tomorrow, and I mean like now. If central banks don't collectively get together and do something to stabilize the global debt market, well, what I just showed you, is going to happen here. It's incredible. Treasury market at risk of large-scale forced selling or surprise that leads to breakdown. Absolutely. I mean, come on, you're probably laughing. Those of you this is on Market Watch, who saw that headline, you're probably laughing because you already knew this. It's incredible. I am so proud, honestly, to probably be the first guy warning about this from I don't know how freaking long ago. And here we go. Anyway, it's pretty freaking incredible here. So let's just touch on a few other things here. Did I talk about gold and silver? A little pressure here. Crypto's under a little pressure here. Crude oil catching a bit. Okay, whatever. Well, that's well and good. This whole thing with the prime minister, well and good. This whole thing with everything else.
How you doing, ostrich? How you doing?
This people. That's
you got a new
it.
name, King.
That's it. Okay.
King Nick 007. Hell yeah.
Forward. On the economic front here.
No worries, no stress, dude. No stress. Flex Friday, early Flex Friday.
We found out today that leading.
I haven't worked out in fucking like a month. It's embarrassing.
Continue to fall. Okay, imagine my shock there.
I lost some mass, but I leaned up a bit.
Shocked.
I'm trying to get lean. Been able to do a lot more chin-ups.
There's no problems.
Chin-ups improve a lot.
We have all these other freaks telling us how great everything is.
Follow me on this account? Yeah, sure, I'll do it after.
It's not.
I'm gonna sign off right now, but I'll do it after. I'll do it after, man. I need to like breathe.
People, let me explain this to you. Something around here is gonna give.
It's good.
And in
good to get the blood flowing again.
It's going to be the debt market, which is hinging on. It's on a knife freaking edge. I don't know which way.
I didn't in the last like month or so.
Central banks are going to do something, or they're not. If central banks are not going to do a damn thing,
thanks for being here, dude.
This whole thing
is
going to come down on us all harder than you can possibly imagine here. The global outcry here from a systemic meltdown of the financial system on a global scale. I can't even put this into words, how this is going to play out. Potentially, this could be, I mean, we're talking about a biblical event here. Literally a freaking biblical event. Look, I said this morning, watch for a false flag. I feel like
you streaming that account. Okay, I'll follow you, man.
Whether it's
follow you right now, and then I'll read somebody. Thanks for being here, Baron. Thank you so much for the sub, man. You're the fucking man, dude.
I'm gonna put a link to that interview in the description of this video. And Gerald,
same with you, Ostrich. Same with you, King Nick 007. I love it. I love the name.
I want you to watch the interview. Again, when you finish here, click on the link to that interview. You can
oh my gosh.
Have to say about a false flag.
We're gonna read Dogger. I think we're gonna read Dogger. I think we gotta do it. He's playing Red Dead 2.
So I want to bring a couple of other things to your attention before I let you go. So Fed President Harker, these things, they're things, okay? They're not human beings. I don't know what they are, but they ain't human beings. Okay? He's got his crystal ball, okay? And he sees significant drop in inflation come 2023. How about there's no way in hell, All right, that's where these freaking things come from. Over
Peace,
there,
yo.
okay?
Thanks, Brandon. Thanks,
That
buddy.
is going to
Thanks, man.
happen. Okay, inflation is going to continue to
Appreciate it, man.
surge
Thank you,
out
buddy.
of
Thanks so
freaking
much, dude.
control
I will be
here.
streaming more.
It's
Maybe
really
not
the
this
truth.
weekend.
He goes
So
on
I
to
might go to
say
golf.
that,
I'm going to be picking up my
we'll
turntables, so I might stream with Matt,
kudos,
but we might not.
no, actually, hold that.
We're going to see how we feel. I mean, also our mixer's not
I don't
working,
know. One of
so
these freaks from the Federal Reserve admitted, and maybe it was
our
him, that
DGM
so
600
far
something is up with it.
raising rates has been inconsequential. It hasn't worked, but sees
fixing.
more aggressive rate hikes moving forward,
Alright,
which
let's
will
read down.
eventually lead to inflation dropping significantly in 2023. Bullshit,
Channel,
and
no
I
channel.
mean bullshit piled
Stream
a
ends.
mile high on top of dog
you,
shit and
thank you.
cat shit and bird shit and monkey shit and freaking hippopotamus shit and every other kind of shit you can think about, to the moon and beyond. It ain't happening here. Raising rates ain't working. It's not going
Baron.
to work no matter what they do. It's not designed to control
Ninja
inflation. It's designed
Lifestyles
to kill
account,
demand,
he's had some
crush the
issues. I
global
think
economy,
he was
and
streaming
and
some
kill the population
NHL
along with
shit.
it here, and they're gonna bring
So
down the
his
financial
channel,
system. That's what they're doing. That's what they're
it's like-
really doing here. Okay, the
it's not active
distractions
right
and the
now.
lies and deception. Oh yeah, raising rates is gonna make everything better. Hasn't worked at all. Okay,
Just
they
explain
want
it.
to fix the
We're
problem.
explaining
You know
some
what the
issues, and
answer
then they,
is.
like,
Okay,
blocked his
why isn't
account or
anybody
some
talking
shit.
about this?
Ninja
CNBC,
Lifestyle.
Bloomberg, Fox Business. Pay
Bullshit.
attention to
Fuck
what I'm
you,
telling
Twitch.
you. Stop
Fuck you,
reading the
Twitch.
damn scripts. All right. Explain to people that if the Federal Reserve, if central
Fucking
banks would
streamers getting the
contract the money
ban. Twitch
supply
should get the
by
fucking fine, not
forcing
the
major
streamer,
institutions
motherfuckers.
like Bank of
Anyways.
America to increase capital reserve requirements above zero, well, we would actually do something about inflation instead of crushing the economy. Really, does this frustrate you? Because it frustrates the living shit out of me. It's really the truth. Anyway, it's just so freaking crazy. I don't even know what to say anymore. Anyway, this new subvariant, XBB. That's what they want us to worry about. Now focus on XBB. It's XBB. What the hell what does XBB stand for? I have no idea. But whatever it is,